Well, we're back with you here on the Market Day Report, and we're joined by Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated here in Nashville. He joins us on set. Always a treat to have you with us here, Chris.
I appreciate that, Marlin. I got in the canoe and floated down here again this morning.
I was going to say, a lot of areas, yeah. And that seems to be an ongoing theme. If you're talking anywhere from the upper Midwest through the Ohio Valley all the way down to the southeast.
Yeah.
I know it's dry in the southern High Plains area, but it sounds like they may get in on the act here in the next day or two. This is kind of putting a crimp in the planting plans for 2019 here.
Any kind of field work that you could ever imagine is just on standstill until they can get some of this ponding out of the fields.
And this goes all the way to the Gulf Coast, right?
Yes, it is blithering everywhere.
Yeah. So, normally, they would be planting a lot of corn by now, right?
Yes, down south, absolutely. Especially South Texas would be getting some planted down there, but I don't think they're getting much out at all right now.
Well, I've seen some pictures where the corn has already emerged if you go way down south. But, I mean, if this wet weather pattern persists, if you go east of Texas, it's going to be hard for anybody to turn a wheel. I'm hearing from people in Wisconsin, they say it's going to be mid-May before they can get in the field.
Yeah, it's bad.
So why does the corn market not reflect that?
I think subsoil moisture more than anything. You get a lot of subsoil moisture out there, and it's able to get a good start on the fields, even though it may be a little bit late in planting. The most deterrent thing would be when it puts it into pollination. So the further you plant it out, the worse shape it gets during pollination into the heat of the summer. So that's why that corn is planted as early as possible to get out of that heat pattern.
Okay, let's take a look at the current market prices here, and then we'll explore a little bit. Okay, on the corn, we have the May contract. You know, Chris, overnight we were a penny higher, and now we're a penny lower at 363 1/4. And December new crop is currently trading 3/4 lower at 387 3/4, within a penny of its low of the day. And then you look at the soybean market, and right now on the soybeans, you have the May down 4 1/4 at 891 1/2. And if you look at the new crop November contract on the soybeans, it is currently trading at 926 1/4, or it was anyway. There it is, 4 1/4 lower. And this is, I have to share, we had a big overnight export sale reported on soybeans, 926,000 tons of soybeans to China. This is on the heels of, what, 664,000 on Thursday or something like that last week? So another big sale of China. Again, it's like the kiss of death here in the markets. It goes down again anyway. I mean, it's no wonder the farmers are pulling their hair out right now.
Sure, absolutely.
So what gives? Why?
I think there's just so many beans out there, and South America's got a brand new crop out there. And what we see more than anything after last week with ECB's president, Mario Draghi, had said that the European Union was still in bad shape. We're going to stimulate further, and the stimulation package that they used was more of a deflation of their currency. So now our U.S. dollar is going to continue to strengthen further as long as they continue with that stimulus package, and that just makes everything more expensive here in the U.S.
All right, let's check out the wheat, and we'll see if the wheat has any friends today. On the wheat market in Chicago, man, look at this, down 7 1/4 at 432 1/4 on the low of the day on the May. July down 7 on the Kansas City market. We currently have the May contract down 6 3/4 at 424. On July, we're down 6 1/4. On the Minneapolis spring wheat trade, where it's not even planted, now that one is higher. May up 3 3/4 at 553. If we check out the cotton market for you, we now have the May contract there 18 points higher at 73.67. So keep an eye on that. By the way, the December and the new crop month up 5 points. We'll come back here in just a moment, and we will talk more with Chris Swift. We'll take a look at our livestock market action when we come back. Well, we're talking right now with Chris Swift of Swift Trading in Nashville, and let's take a look at our livestock markets. And we'll get you updated on our cattle trade and our lean hog trade as well. On the futures, on the live cattle board right now, they started out with a lot of negative pressure here. We have the April live cattle down 68 now at 129 even per hundredweight. We have the June contract down 85 at 120.10. August down 67. So we're still weaker, but we are off of our earlier lows of the day by about 30 or 40 cents now. If you look at the feeder cattle market, this for a time was over $2 lower. It's still kind of hovering around there. March down 175 at 142.18. April feeders down 215 right now at 145.55. May down 175 at 146.78. And on the lean hog market, we had mainly a higher start. We're still that way. April up 70 now at 61.25, and that's almost half a dollar off of its earlier high. So there for a little bit, it had a decent little spike. The May contract on the lean hogs now 65 higher at 69.58, and June up 53 cents. All right, Chris. Why are they picking on the feeder cattle today?
I think everything is just volatility in the feeder cattle. There's been no trending move whatsoever in the feeders, and they bumped them up really high again last week. For the last 2-3 days of the week, they pushed them up another $3, and the index didn't move. And so since futures settles to the index, now they start coming right back down to the index again.
So, all right, the placement number was a little higher than expected. It was still lower than a year ago.
Absolutely.
5% lower than a year ago, but they were looking for 92.6, I believe. Mm-hmm. But that's old data. That's about a month old.
It is.
And is that actually weighing on the market that much today? Do you think?
No, not really. It's not. You got everybody in the Northeast is still sitting at home. It poured down rain most of this weekend in the Northeast. Mm-hmm. Every cow is miserable out there. And this is the time of the year where you need some production cycles to change. You need to get rid of the winter background cattle. You need to get them into feed yards. You need to start being able to accept grass cattle coming in for your pastures. And none of that is happening right now. So everybody is in a stalemate. And you have a lot of backgrounders that need to sell cattle. And you've got a lot of feed yards out there going, we just can't accept cattle as wet as it is.
So we get an updated number on March 22nd.
Correct.
On the cattle on feed. Uh-huh. Do you think that placements number will still be around 95?
Yes, it'll be lower because of all the poor weather that we had in February. Nobody wanted to receive cattle then.
Really?
So there's probably some still backing up in the country there. They're not as bad, but I think that's why you're seeing the feeder cattle index not go up, is because they're still backing cattle up back there.
I think you mentioned it before. This is decision time right now on, for folks in the Southern Plains that graze out wheat.
Yes,
right?
That's right. Yes.
March 15th is the deadline. They either have to go ahead and graze it out or get them off.
Get them off, one of the two. And it's awfully muddy out there.
Yeah,
awfully muddy.
Yeah. So what's the tendency right now?
I would assume you'd probably just keep them out there, because I don't think your wheat crop is really going to be all that good. If you've had cattle on them right now, they've just been nothing but mashing everything in the ground. Every time they step, that just kills everything underneath it.
Interesting stuff. Well, thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
in. Always a treat to visit.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. All right, Chris Swift of Swift Trading Incorporated, right in Nashville. Janet, back to you.
All right, gentlemen, as always, thanks for the insight this morning.